Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Byung-Yong Yu and I work at Maxvid Company Limited, an international freight forwarder that provides global logistics service. I'm the managing director at the Busan branch, which is recognized as one of the major logistics hubs in Korea. I have 20 years of extensive working experience and expertise in global logistics service, including maritime transportation, air transportation, transshipment, warehousing, and project logistics. I have also acquired a PhD degree from the Graduate School of Shipping Management at Korea Maritime and Ocean University. It is an honor to attend the KOICA project that capacity building of sustainable smart maritime transport and port logistics system development. This is the age of smart logistics. Currently, logistics are not smart, but they are dreaming of smart logistics and effort to become smarter continuing. The reason why smart is needed for logistics is simple. This is because it is necessary to meet the diversifying needs of shippers and consumers and to provide service that consumers want. The logistics subject has already moved to consumer, not manufacturing, distribution, and logistics company. Today, my lecture will look into international logistics in the age of smart logistics. The lecture consists of freight forwarder, container ship and containers, international logistics, smart logistics center in Busan Free Trade Zone. First of all, I will cover the freight forwarder. It is an entity involved in the trade activity. International logistics start with the exporter and importer. When an exporter and importer enter into a sales contract, the exporter transports goods to the importer. When the importer pays the import price, the exporter collects the export price and delivers goods. This is the beginning of international logistics. When a direct transportation is requested to a shipping company or an airline, the entity involved in the trade activity include the shipping company and the airline, and their agent or branch at the destination. When transportation is requested through a freight forwarder, the entity involved in the trade activity include the freight forwarder and its agent, branch, or partner. If a trade transaction is made using the letter of credit, taking into account the trust and transaction relationship between the exporter and importer. The entity involved in the trade activity also include the issuing bank and the purchasing bank. Therefore, the starting point of an entity involved in trade activity are exporter and importer. I will continue to talk about freight forwarder. A freight forwarder transports cargo safe and quickly to the destination, foreign country, requested by the shipper. Freight forwarder transports cargo to the right place and the right time in perfect condition and an economical cost. If cargo is transported to a wrong place or not delivered on time, it causes many problems. For instance, finished product may not be launched on the market in a timely manner. raw materials or semi-finished product which are not inputted in the production process in a timely manner may cause production delays and the non-operation of worker and equipment. Perfect condition also one of the important considerations for cargo transportation. If transported products are damaged, especially if the clothing product is stained or torn, the product itself cannot function properly, causing damage to the shipper's business. Therefore, shippers basically require freight forwarders to transport cargo in correct place, time, condition, and selectively demand the most economical cost. In this context, freight forwarders are often called the designer of transportation. In recent years, securing space on ships and transport without rollover has become one of the most important factors in supply chains. I will look into the main task of freight forwarder. This is the issuance of bill of lading, which is the most important task. I will explain the bill of lading in detail in the next chapter. Communication with the partner, agent, or local corporation is also one of the main tasks. Freight forwarder performs inland transportation from factory to port or airport, export clearance, international transportation by sea or air, import clearance, and overseas inland transportation. Depending on the contract terms of the exporter and importer and outsourcing condition, the freight forwarder may perform some or all of above-mentioned tasks. One of the most important work is international transportation and the issuance bill of lading. I will discuss the bill of lading, BL. A bill of lading is a document that certifies that a carrier has received or shipped cargo for transportation and is obliged to transport and deliver it to each rightful holder at an agreed place. The bill of lading serves as a receipt of goods, a written evidence of transportation contract that has been concluded between an exporter and carrier on the terms and conditions stated in the bill of lading, and a document of title for transported cargo, which guarantees that the possession of the bill of lading has a right to obtain the cargo stated on the bill of lading. This is a sample of bill of lading. It is a house bill of lading issued by the freight forwarder Maxbit to an export, and is a bill of lading that transports a 20 dry container from Busan Port to Ho Chi Minh Port, Vietnam. The shipping cost is prepaid, which is a condition by the exporter. I have removed the trade names of the exporter and importer to protect their privacy.
Bill of lading is an important document commonly used in shipping and international trade. It is issued by the carrier, usually the shipowner or a charterer. We will address the functions of a bill of lading and the common issues arising from the perspective of a contractual carrier. A bill of lading has three functions. Firstly, it is a receipt of the goods shipped on board. Secondly, it is evidence of the contract of carriage. And thirdly, it is usually a document of title.
The first function seems quite self-explanatory. The bill of lading is a receipt prepared by the ship and is a record of the cargo provided by the shipper. Under Article 3, Rule 3 of the Hague-Visby Rules, the carrier or master must issue to the shipper a bill of lading accurately describing the quantity and apparent order and condition of the goods shipped. Parties often disagree with the proposed descriptions of cargo or the proposed amounts of cargo under a bill of lading. Why? Well, because the seller will want to ensure that the bill of lading record matches with what they say they have sold to show that they have honoured the terms of the sale contract. From an international trade perspective, the bill of lading is an important document used in documentary credit. A seller of cargo needs to send the banks a clean bill of lading in order to obtain payment. This can create a conflict of interest between the shipowner and the seller when it comes to the content. There is usually a great deal of commercial pressure on the shipowners to issue a clean bill of lading, even where there may be some pre-shipment concerns. It is also well known that some terminals, supported by the local law, will only allow shore figures to be inserted into the bills of lading. It is important then that owners have a reliable loss prevention system in place to monitor cargo operations and insist on reviewing the draft bills of lading prior to issuance.
The second function to note is that bills of lading are evidence of the contract of carriage. As with every contract, members are recommended to carefully check the terms of the bills, both the front and reverse sides. Terms to look out for include checking the usual protective clauses are in place, any law and jurisdiction provisions, and any terms which are referred to as incorporated but are not attached to the bill of lading form. For example, reference to any incorporated charter party. Sale contract terms, including reference to a letter of credit number, are not relevant in a bill of lading unless in the unusual case where the carrier is also a party to the sale contract. Owners have no obligation to agree to inserting these terms when they are in no position to verify the details. The third function, which is often overlooked by parties in the industry, is that a bill of lading serves as a document of title. This means that an original bill of lading, whether it is transferable or not, must be presented to the carrier by the consignee before the cargo can be released for delivery. Where the bills of lading are transferable, owners are recommended to carefully check the bill of lading presented for the relevant endorsements to verify if the party claiming to take delivery is entitled to do so. In practice, ship owners commonly accept discharge orders against a letter of indemnity, but the underlying law requiring the presentation of an original bill of lading remains unchanged. In the event owners have reason to doubt the authenticity of the person claiming delivery, they are entitled to a reasonable time to investigate the identity of the lawful holder of the bill of lading. For example, if there is an issue with a letter of credit, the lawful holder of the bills of lading may in fact be one of the banks. In such a case, owners may have a defence by showing that the relevant banks had received notice of delivery, but this approach is not without risks.
In conclusion, there can be a tension between balancing a shipowner's rights as contractual carrier against the interests of the commodity traders or shippers. The importance of an accurate bill of lading is critical to minimise the commercial risks for the carrier. If in doubt, members are recommended to contact their claims handler at the club for advice on appointing a local surveyor, clausing options, and managing any disputes at the loading port.
This is the main business of freight forwarder: LCL consolidations, buyers consolidation, sea and air transportation, Korea, China, Japan hot delivery transportation using ferry, free trade zone business in connection with the district park, and the transportation of non-standard cargo, heavy or bulky cargo that cannot be loaded into a container. The following is the content of a container ship and container. Please watch a video about container ship provided by Jeff HK. I have selected this video to help you understand the container ship easily. Almost everything comes in container by a ship in this modern day. All your furniture, electric, and even most of your food. In this video, show you what goes on during cargo operation.
Let me show you how containers work. It's possible that most things around you right now came from a container ship. The food you ate, the phone or computer you're looking at. We have anything from apples to frozen meat to explosive or toxic gases on the ship. Some of the things we carry is pretty bizarre. But everything actually begins in the office with a team of people we call central planners. They drop cargo plan for the whole supply chain. Then it's sent to our chief mate to adjust as required. The containers are loaded by port's crane. Some say they were used by the Empire. Starting from the bottom, stacking up like Legos. These cargo holds can be as deep as 40 times 40 meters. The spades are built with these long sail guides that run downwards. It secures the containers in place. And this is what an empty container hold looks like. Once it's filled, a hatch cover is placed on top so that more containers can be loaded. The ones above on deck will need extra lashings to secure them. Workers from the port handle the physical labor of lashing. Thank God, because these full metal rods are very, very heavy. Turnbuckles are twisted to tighten the steel rods. For that, we have turnbuckles, short bars, long bars, and twist locks. There's actually a few types of twist locks on our ship. Some are manual, some are automatic. It all depends on the location of the containers, but they serve the same purpose, which is to lock containers. Once again, it really is just like stacking Legos. The fruits and frozen products are transported by reefers. Reefers are short for refrigerated containers. They are pretty much a gigantic portable fridge. It can keep temperatures anywhere from room temperature to negative 30 degrees. That's negative 90 Fahrenheit for America folks. So what's my part in all this? Well, as third mate, my job during cargo operation is to monitor the loading and discharging progress. Afterwards, checking the lashing to make sure it's done properly. The last thing we want are containers falling to sea if we ever run into bad weather. Other than that, we keep watch on the overall condition of the ship, including safety and security, checking the mooring lines and looking out for any suspicious activities like stowaways or pirates. So that was a general overview of how cargo operations are done on container ships. If you got any specific questions, make sure to leave it down in comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.
This is container yard equipment. This is gantry crane that you will first see at port. This is an equipment with the function of loading container on a ship and unloading the loaded container. This transfer crane is equipped used to load or move container to a required location within port. This yard tractor is truck that tows a yard chassis for loading container. Yard chassis is a vehicle that loads container and is towed as connected behind the yard tractor. Reach stacker is equipment called Kalma in Korea. The reason is that Kalma company makes a lot of this equipment. This equipment for piling or loading and unloading container. This is the specification of dry container. There are 20 foot, 40 foot, and 40 foot high cubic. 20 foot is 6 meter long, 2.348 meter wide, and 2.390 meter high, with a maximum capacity of 33.2 cbm. This volume is the volume when filled with water, so it can load 25 to 28 cbm on average. The container's tail weight is 2.26 tons, and the loadable cargo weight is 21.74 tons. However, according to the Road Traffic Act, the load limit is about 18 tons. The average volume of 40 foot is 45 to 58 cbm, and the load limit is 21 tons. 40 foot high cubic is 2.695 meter high and has an average volume of 58 to 66 cbm. Consolidated cargo is a container that can be loaded the largest number of goods and is highly efficient. The load limit is 21 tons, which is the same as 40 foot high cubic. Generally, 40 foot and 40 foot high cubic are used for volume cargo. It is more efficient to load heavy cargo into 20 foot. This is because the average volume and the load limit must be taken into account. This is a flatlet container, which is a special container. This container is called a flatboom container, and it is a container that can load and unload cargo on all sides and from above. This is a container suitable for transporting heavy cargo such as machinery and steel. This is a picture of cargo loaded in a flatlet container. I think this picture will make it easier for you to understand the use of a container. This is open top container. This container has no fixed ceiling and can be opened and closed with a canvas, etc. This container is used by cranes or reach stacker when loading and unloading cargo. This is good for goods that are convenient to be unloaded from the ceiling or for over-high shipment. This container is used to transport products such as machinery, steel product, plate glass, and etc. This is a picture of loading cargo. through a rich stacker machine. It can be very difficult to load this type of cargo with a general dry container, but it can be easily loaded by using this open-top container. I would like to tell you about international logistics. The contents of international logistics are composed of 9 parts. 1. Consolidation service and PWT. 2. Container break bulk shipment. 3. Bulk shipment. 4. Air transportation. 5. sea and air transportation. 6. Ro-ro shipment. 7. Ferry shipment. 8. Silk rail. And 9. Milk run logistics.